Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. The first character of Natlan, Mualani, is almost here, and in this video I will give you a complete guide for her. This video will cover everything you need to know about her, so without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Mualani is a Hydro main DPS that uses Catalyst and scales on HP. Mualani's elemental skill makes her enter into Night Soul Blessing state. Night Soul Blessing is unique to only Natlan characters, just like the Numa and Usia alignments for Fontaine characters. Once the characters enter into Night Soul state, their combat and mobility will be boosted. Different characters have different Night Soul effects, and this effect can be tracked via the special bar to the left of the character. On using this skill, Mualani will get 60 Night Soul points, which are her max points, and start surfing on her Sharky board, which rapidly consumes her Night Soul points. This state increases her movement speed and resistance to interruption. She can move on water and the lava of Natlan without taking any damage on the lava. Her normal attacks are converted into Sharky bites. This normal attack has a cooldown of 1.8 seconds. When Mualani makes contact with any opponent while on her surfboard, she will mark the opponents, which is called Marked as Prey, and gains one wave momentum stack, which can be stacked thrice. The wave momentum stack gives additional damage bonus to her Sharky bites. When she has 3 stacks, her Sharky bites is further enhanced and deals much higher damage and removes all of her stacks after using it. When Sharky bites hits opponents who are marked as prey, the mark is removed, and Mualani will fire shark missiles at up to 5 opponents which have the mark. This damage is same as the Sharky bites damage and will remove the mark on hitting the enemy. When attacking multiple enemies, the damage of these attacks decrease by 14% after the first opponent, and the decrease caps at 3 opponents. That is 28% is the maximum decrease. And the best part is that these attacks don't have an ICD. I know this is quite confusing, but unlike her kit, her combos are quite simple. Thankfully, Mualani's burst is much simpler than her elemental skill. It is just a big nuke damage which tracks opponents to deal AoE Hydro damage based on Mualani's max HP. Mualani's first Ascension passive will generate puffer fishes after hitting an opponent with the enhanced version of Sharky bites. These puffers restore 20 Night Soul points. Only 2 such puffers can be created per skill cast, and they get auto-collected. This passive will let her do an additional Sharky bites during a single skill cast. The 4th Ascension passive gives Mualani a stack of Wave Chaser's exploit, which lasts for 20 seconds when any team member trigger a Night Soul burst. Night Soul burst can be triggered once in certain periods when Natlan characters deal elemental damage. The cooldown of Night Soul burst can be lowered with more Natlan characters in the team. This stack can be stacked thrice. Every stack of this passive will increase the damage of Mualani's burst by 15% of her max HP. The stacks will be cleared after using her burst. Moving on to her talent priority. Most of Mualani's damage comes from her elemental skill. This is her most important talent, as it has very high scalings. After that level, her elemental burst, which you can leave at level 8. The normal attacks can be skipped. Moving on to her combos. After using your supports, use Mualani's skill to start surfing. Then surf through the enemies till you have 3 momentum stacks, then normal attack to deal huge damage. Keep repeating until the skill ends. And for her burst, you can use it either before her elemental skill or after the skill ends. Just keep using it whenever it is up. Moving on to her artifacts. The best artifact for Mualani will be the new Natlan's artifact set, Obsidian Codex, made specifically for Natlan characters. The 2-piece effect grants 15% damage increase in Night Soul Blessing state, and the 4-piece effect gives a massive 40% crit rate increase for 6 seconds when the character consumes a Night Soul point. It is her best set by a huge margin. If you are using Farina with her, you can use the Mar Shaozi Hunter set. Heart of Depth is an alternate option, which is decent but not as good as the Obsidian Codex. Even a bad Obsidian Codex set with correct stats is better than the Heart of Depth set. It can be used as a placeholder while you farm the Obsidian Codex. And lastly, you can mix and use 2-piece set effects of Obsidian Codex, sets that give Hydro damage bonus, Marachisi Hunter, or sets that give HP %. For her artifact stats, HP % on sands, hydro damage bonus on Goblet, and crit on Circlet. With the Obsidian Codex or Marachasi Hunter set, try to use crit damage Circlet. Elemental Mastery and Sands also work if you're using her in vape teams. For substats, prioritize crit stats, followed by HP percent and Elemental Mastery for vape teams. Try to aim for 30k HP and at least 100 plus Elemental Mastery for vape teams. You can opt to use an Elemental Mastery Sands if you can't get any from artifact substats for vape teams. Energy recharge is not that important on her, but having some is not bad. Moving on to her weapons. Her best weapon will obviously be her signature weapon, Surf's Up. It provides 88.2% crit damage. It increases max HP by 20%. On using Elemental skill, it gives 4 summer stacks. Each stack increases normal attack damage by 12%. That is a total of 48%. She loses a stack after a normal attack hits every 1.5 seconds, and she gains back a stack after triggering Vaporize every 1.5 seconds. The summer stacks can be stacked up to 4 times. It can be used in all the teams, but vape teams will maximize the effect of this weapon. If you are using her in vape teams, 1,000 Floating Dreams could be her second best option. The BP weapon, Sacrificial Jade, is one of her best options, but it can make it difficult to build Mualani as there's a high chance of overcapping on crit rate with her signature artifact set. Nevertheless, it provides a lot of stats, making it an amazing weapon option and can be on par with her signature weapon if you take it to R5. Tome of the Eternal Flow is her next best weapon option due to the high crit damage and HP increase. The other half of this weapon's passive is wasted on her, but is still a good option. Lost Prayer to Sacred Winds is another great option, but you can overcap on the crit rate with Obsidian Codex artifact set. R5 Ring of Yaxche is her best F2P weapon option. It gives 41.3% HP and gives normal attack damage bonus. It can go up to 32% at R5. Widsith is another amazing option, but the attack buff is wasted, and outside of vape teams, both the attack and elemental mastery buffs are wasted. Let's take a look at how good Mualani's constellations are. You will be happy to know that the first constellation of Mualani is quite good. It grants an additional damage, increase of 66% of Mualani's max HP to her first Sharky Bite and Shark Missiles for each skill cast. Additionally, it decreases her Night Soul points consumption by 30% when not in combat. It is not necessary, but still a good damage increase of 21%. The C2 is much better than her C1. When Mualani enters Night Soul Blessing state, that is when she uses her elemental skill. She immediately gets 2 wave momentum stacks. She gains additional momentum stacks when picking up the puffer fishes. If she picks up 2 puffer fishes in a single skill cast, she recovers 12 more Night Soul points. This constellation allows Mualani to get 2 additional Sharky Bites per single skill cast. This is around 40% damage increase over her previous constellation. Mualani's C3 increases her skill level by 3. In Mualani's case, since her damage goes up by a lot with skill levels, this constellation gives her a significant damage increase of 22%. Her C4 buffs her elemental burst. It restores 8 energy after obtaining a puffer, additionally increase her burst's damage by 75%. It allows you to use her burst more consistently. Despite the numbers, this is not much of a damage increase to Mualani's total damage. It is only around 9% increase. Her C5 increases her burst level by 3, which is a minimal damage increase of 4.5% and is her worst constellation. And her 6th constellation, as usual, is her best constellation. It applies the effect of her C1, that is damage increase equal to 66% of Mualani's max HP, to all of her Sharky Bites. This is a massive 83% damage increase over her previous constellation. Moving on to her team comps. Vape teams are Mualani's best team comps, as she can easily vaporize her big hits. These comps maximizes her damage output. Xiangling and Dehia can be used for the pyro application, with Xiangling being a more offensive option. And then the other slots can be flex, with one character help with survival. Zhongli can provide resistance shred and shields. You can use Archaic Petra on him to squeeze more damage. Layla or Karara are other alternatives for shielding. Anemo characters with Viridescent Veneerer can be used in the flex slot, with Kazuha being the best. Another variant of vape teams is by adding a Dendro character in the team and using a burn vape team. Nahida is the most preferred Dendro character, as she can give elemental mastery buff. Emily is another flex unit that can deal good amounts of damage. Yao Yao and Kale can help to enable the burn vape too. You can also use a freeze team with a cryo character. If you are using a freeze team, I recommend using Furina for the damage buffs she provides, and she can deal high damage herself. And along with her, you can use Charlotte, Jean, Xianyun, or Sayu as the healer to get fanfare stacks. Candace can also be used with Mualani as she can give normal attack damage buff, and similar to freeze teams, you can use mono hydro teams. Again, I recommend using Furina here to make up for low damage from Mualani. Overall, Mualani is a solid DPS. She can deal very high amounts of damage and will potentially be one of the best DPS in the game. According to me, she is definitely worth pulling. What do you guys think? And that's all for this video. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Genshin Impact content. Thanks for watching.